Hey, this is Kathy Perry, corporate energy expert, helping you and your teams power up and perform, stay engaged. Oh, and engagement. That's what I want to talk about today. What does an engaged employee look like? Now, it's a big buzzword. I know about engagement. I'm not going to solve how to engage employees. In this video, I really just want to talk about what it looks like so you can start identifying some of those traits in your own people. Because we know people are jumping jobs and skipping off and 6 months here, a week there. We want to keep people engaged. And what does that look like? So stay to the end because I'm going to give you a few tips on how to look for those types of employees. Well, my daughter just got married this past weekend and she was engaged for almost over a year. Think about that. Think about that time period when someone is engaged. It means they're making a promise towards the future union, right? And often when we are hiring someone, we automatically think they're going to be engaged because what we're giving them is maybe a benefits package, or maybe we're giving them a higher salary than what they had before, higher hourly rate. So we think by giving this symbol of being engaged that we've done our part and then they should act the role. But we have to realize it is a two-way street. Yes, we do have certain expectations, but just like a good marriage engagement, there is a period of time before the union actually settles in and becomes this strong thing. So even though you've hired this new employee and you've given them the bright, shiny things that you think are going to keep them there, you have to remember that there is a process to it. And during that process, it isn't just up to your employee to come up with all of those attributes of being an engaged employee. It's also your job to help them stay engaged. So what are some of those things that happen during this period of time to begin to see engagement happen with your new hires or with your current employees? Number one, loyalty. We need that loyalty. When we're forming any sort of union, we want people to remain loyal. Well, how do you do this? How do you build that loyalty in? Again, a two-way street. And one of the best ways to build that loyalty is communication. Now, I have a couple other videos about how to increase communication on teams, but really taking a look at how you communicate with that employee. Recent surveys out of OnShift, all in senior living, looked at one of the number one thing employees want more of is better communication. And again, we know in a marriage or a relationship, communication is the key to building that loyalty. So take a look at how are you communicating? Do they understand the culture? Do they understand what is expected? And that leads to number two, organizational culture. We're expecting this person to be loyal, but we need to know that they understand the culture. Now, I have worked with some amazing senior living organizations, and they have vision statements, and they have statements of this is what we believe, and this is who we are. And most of them are just phenomenal because we are in the caregiving industry. We know how to do that. But we need to make sure that that employee understands those vision statements and how it relates to them and in their role. Because again, that organizational loyalty comes when they understand the vision. So that's the second part. Do they understand the culture, what is expected, what a loyal employee looks like? So running off and putting something on social media that makes your organization come out in a poor light is not loyalty. So what are those things? Help them understand. Have conversations about it. The third thing is an engaged employee in senior living puts the resident first. Wow, what could be a larger goal for an engaged employee to really show up caring? to have that empathy, that caregiver. Sometimes that's not learned. It's something that's here. And while doing hiring, it's important to look for those because they will engage in the work. You may have excellent people at documentation, handling regulations, and those are important because we know we can't run an organization without those. But really understanding how to care, that's when they engage in the work. So if there are things that you do within your organization to really teach empathy, to teach caregiving, to show that it's okay to go that extra mile, to engage with families, that will also increase the way your employee engages. So an engaged person also has that caregiving heart. And then the fourth thing to look for in an engaged employee is they really are loyal and understand and they care about their team. So you can be loyal to an organization, you can be loyal to a position and really care, but we go to work and we work on teams. So an engaged employee doesn't cause disruption, doesn't roll their eyes and stomp out of the room. I mean, they might occasionally, those things happen, but they care for building up their team and working on a team. So those are four things to look for in an engaged employee. And if you're watching your teams and saying, hey, they aren't very loyal, or I see them not caring about the residents, or they were just rude to a family, it might be time to step in and take an assessment on how they are engaging. Now, because I do this type of work, I have all kinds of tools and assessments to see where are people standing and are they engaging. And when we do longer workshops, we really can dig down and get into this. But for now, because this is just a short video, pay attention to those four things. Loyalty, are they caring for their team? Are they caring for their residents? And are they truly engaged in the work? So I hope this helps you understand a little bit about what an engaged employee looks like. And hey, if you're feeling a little disconnected in your role, then why not take a little step through the things I mentioned? And if your team is not feeling engaged, it's a perfect time to do a little work. So this is Kathy Perry, corporate energy expert. I'd love it if you subscribe to this channel because I'm constantly putting out new content, new inspirations, new ways to help your teams. And you'll get a little notification on YouTube. I won't send you anything that just says new video available. So I love reaching out to those who care for seniors. So thank you so much for following along.